Mojang broke their own rule, and they're trying to cover it up. Well, that sounds overly ambitious, but it's actually quite comical. Do you remember that book that Jeb wrote? The one he published before he stepped down as the director of Vanilla. In it, he described the various concepts and rules they should be considered when developing not only new Minecraft updates, but also in general the games of the Minecraft franchise. I told about this book in more detail in a separate video. If you want to read the book, in the description I left a link to the archive. So this book is not available to everyone. It cannot be bought, it was created exclusively for Mojang employees. There is still a chance to come to Sweden, to Stockholm, and there you go to special national library. Before that, of course, book your visit, and there on the spot you can read it. 1/3 of the book are just guiding principles. Quote, they are intended to help understand the reasoning behind features, but they are not set in stone and we reserve the right to break own rules from time to time. Okay, that's understandable. They wrote those rules, they can rewrite them, add additions, remove them, and whatever else they want. Especially since this is first and foremost a guideline, and then rules. But it's still extremely funny how they violated literally their first guideline. It sounds like this: one block at a time. The primary principle is that all actions interact with one block at a time. You break one block, pull one lever, until one block of dirt. There should not be any copy-paste functionality, building templates or similar convenience tools. Interacting with a block may impact multitudes of other blocks, of course, such as planting a tree, blowing up a TNT, or activating a network of redstone. But from the player's perspective, it all starts with a single interaction. Why is this important? It allows us to maintain the interaction model of Minecraft, but it also sets an essential constraint how you build things with other players. I want a player to understand what is happening when they see someone else play. Instantaneously placing buildings would make it hard for an observer to assist. Okay, we've dealt with that. What do we have in the end? Let's run the official Minecraft launcher together. At first glance, nothing new. On the main page we have the latest news at the moment. On the Java page everything is the same as before. Installation, realms, the ability to customize skins, and lists of new features in each version and snapshot. But if we click on the page that is dedicated to the Bedrock edition of the game, then we will be pleasantly shocked. We have a tab called Creator Tools. Have you heard about this anywhere on the official resources of Minecraft? Has anyone told you about these tools? The main tool in this page is Editor. But what is this application? It's funny that right on this page there is an opportunity to watch a mini video presentation of the features of this application. But you can go to YouTube and read comments. The video is built right into the launcher. Under the video presentation we briefly try to summarize its main features. Explore the Minecraft Bedrock Editor beta. Create stunning worlds at scale. Build faster. Paint and sculpt multiple blocks at once with incredible speed and precision. Transforming your creative process into a seamless experience. Unlock creativity. Dive into a world of endless possibilities where you can create, test and share new worlds, pushing the boundaries of your imagination. Effortless editing. Build like a pro directly in Bedrock with a familiar and easy to use interface, designed to make your editing process smooth and intuitive. I mean, I think you know what we're talking about here. The developers literally create World Edit or Axiom. After launching the program, we get as if in the most ordinary Bedrock Minecraft. The game offers us to create a new world, import an existing one, or open those that we edited earlier. After selecting a world and its further customization, we get into the editor. We are greeted by a welcome window, in which we can minimally familiarize ourselves with the information. There is an opportunity to read the documentation, but this is a separate page on the Microsoft website. Then you can report a problem or provide feedback, but apparently no one pays attention to this section. For example, here is this post in Portuguese about the cape. The description asks to add a cape to a player for completing an achievement. The post has been up for days and no one has removed it. Then there is an opportunity to get into the Discord of Minecraft, in certain channel, where there are discussions about the editor. After that, 3 tabs minimally familiarize us to how to move around the world, how to choose tools and actions. If you have ever opened such editors, the principle here is the same. Everything is understandable on an intuitive level. Moving the camera is done by pressing RMB and moving the mouse. If you also use the WASD keys, you can move in space. The shift key lowers the player and the spacebar on the contrary rises. After launching, the world as if it to freeze at the moment of generation, so all entities, if loaded, will remain hanging in the air. I do not want to turn this video into a tutorial on how to use the program. I will only tell you about the main features. At the beginning, we have the ability to move between dimensions, available overworld, nether, and of course the end. It is possible to choose any weather, as well as the cycle of the day and night up to the saved templates. We can teleport to certain coordinates, even include a map to make it easier to navigate. If you suddenly need to find a certain biome, there is that option here too, but so far there is no choice of structure. Extremely strange, considering that this seems to me even more important than the biome. I think it's only a matter of the time before there will be a choice to find structures. What I liked the most was the ability to fly behind the cursor. You put the cursor on the desired place, press the G key, and in a moment the editor smoothly transports you there. The tools here have everything you need for the first time. As I said earlier, everything is intuitive. Do you want to copy or delete something? You select the first block, and with the help of the graphical interface, you specify the size of the building or your construction. Everything works quite quickly. The area to be manipulated is highlighted by a yellow dash line, and with a keyboard shortcut you can cut an object as well as copy and paste it. If you don't like something, you can always undo previous actions. I was also surprised that there is an option to summon entities. By default, the pick is selected, but in the list you can select not only mobs but also block entities. All the mobs are present except for the Ender Dragon. Why they didn't add it, I have no idea. So far there is no possibility to somehow customize the mobs. That is, you cannot give the zombies a sword or armor. You can only choose their orientation, in which direction they will look. Of course, there is a familiar brush with which we will be able to draw blocks. It is possible to choose the type of brush and then customize it to your preference. The only thing that seems inconvenient to me was the choice of blocks. There is a hotbar at the top, 9 slots. To change a block, you have to first edit the hotbar, then click on the slot with a block, and in the search bar find the desired block to save, and then it can be used. I would like to point out the hotbars can be saved as templates and then quickly changed, but I'm still somehow used to seeing the standard selection of blocks. Another thing that surprised me was the farm generation option. Yes, there is literally an option to create the most minimal crop farm. It's literally the most typical crop farm with a fence. You can choose the material of the fence, the size of the field, and whether the farm will have water. Of course, there is animals, cows, pigs, and sheep. Other mobs are missing for some reason, but nobody prevents you from manually placing them there. In general, they are all the typical tools for it in the world. This is not a tutorial on this program, as I said, so you can explore everything yourself, especially the editor is completely free. I would like to point out that there is also an option to switch to Minecraft mode, where you can fly a character and destroy blocks as if in creative mode, which is of course also convenient. Once you have edited the world, you can instantly test it and then continue further editing, or immediately export the world. It will appear in regular Minecraft as a new world in the loading window. The editor is quite good. So what can we get out of it? Mojang quietly created a full-fledged tool with which we can edit our worlds, so far on the Bedrock edition. In general, everything looks as strange as possible. The first version was released on March 8th, 2023, and Stable, the one that appeared in the launcher, on December 3rd, 2024. The strange thing is that Mojang, and in particular Microsoft, does not even try to tell anywhere about such a powerful tool. I will point out that it is not being handled by the same team that develops Java edition, but specifically the Bedrock team. My take is that even Microsoft themselves don't try to promote the editor in any way. At least the Stable version came out on December 3rd and Minecraft Monthly on December 30th. Do you think there is even the slightest mention there? No, I don't think it's that hard to devote even 30 seconds of screen time to talk about the editor. The problem here is that no one of the developers even tried to mention the development of this tool. On the official website, not even a mention. It's as if the development of the editor exists in a vacuum. It's like the developers themselves are trying to hide the fact of creating such a tool. Honestly, I don't see anything wrong with creating an official world edit or Axiom. Especially a lot of players have asked to add something like this to the game. It would not only help the average player, but also professionals in general. You will not need to install Fabric or Forge, then look for the current version of the mod. You just in the launcher open the utility and edit what you need. There is a mute question: what about Java players? There is no such tab on the launcher page of this edition of the game. I tried searching for the information, but unfortunately, sadly, I found nothing. There is no mention of whether there are plans to develop for Java or whether this editor will be ported once development is complete. Everything is extremely vague so far. I think the developers were not the initiators of the development. Most likely it was Microsoft. After all, only their website has a complete guide on how to use this program. To be fair, there is another interesting remark in the Jab's Green Book. The final say-so rule is Minecraft is not an editor. Quote, along with the one block at a time, we should not let game rules, common blocks, or More configuration pages take away from the core of what people want from Minecraft. That said, don't be surprised if it features an editor mode in the future. We are making a game, but the community is also creating experiences for other players, and we enable those where possible. Don't get me wrong, projects like this, in form of an editor, are not created at the snap of a fingers. You have to dedicate the developers to it, put the team together, figure out what to do, allocate a budget for it, which is not a small thing. So I think at the time of writing this book, there were already starting to be suggestions slipped in about creating a tool like this. So Jeb tried to protect himself and the studio. Another extremely important change was added in the latest snapshot, 25W03A. You may think that this is not particularly remarkable thing, but the developers have added full support for customized textures via resource packs. Think about it, you will not have to wait for Optifine or other mods that add the ability to put the different kinds of textures to items or blocks with an anvil. It's incredible! Of course it should have been done sooner, but better late than never. And here's the trend I've noticed. Microsoft and Mojang in particular are no longer squeamish about just adding things that were already created years ago, such as the Worlds editor for Bedrock or support for custom textures as in Optifine. They are slowly and smoothly introduce these features so that there will no be ranting about "Here Mojang is stealing ideas from us again." Believe me, for 15 years of Minecraft released an extremely large number of mods. It was already realized so many ideas that it is easier than in general not to create Minecraft, because wherever you go, something in some form has already been realized in certain mod. Again, these are just my representation of what goes on behind the scenes of Minecraft. How it really is, it is extremely difficult to say, because no one wants to tell much. Moreover, every developer when joins or quits his job signs a non-disclosure agreement, where he simply cannot tell what is going on there, and if he does, then he will face a court and most likely a monetary fine. As far as I'm concerned, such movements in development can be assessed positively. We have been waiting for the same custom textures for a long time, but we would like it to appear in the game a little faster, not at a snail pace. I wouldn't be surprised if we could have directly official shaders in the near future. Yes, they are there now. They can be installed via resource pack, but their capabilities are limited. I'm really interested to see how many new things will be created, so let's watch together. What do you think about this? Have you used this editor, or is it the first time you heard about it? Feel free to share your feedback in the comments. While you're waiting for the new video, you can watch this. They are also very interesting. Subscribe to the channel, put thumbs up and click on the bell. We'll hear from you again, because we're discovering Minecraft in a new way.